Hello and welcome back to Handheld Computing. Today we're having a look at this, the Toshiba e800. So this is unusual in that it's got a 4-inch screen instead of the 3.5-inch screen that pretty much every Pocket PC has up until this point. It was aimed squarely at business users, coming with document viewers for Excel, Word and PowerPoint. There's also an optional clip-on for the bottom that allows you to give VGA out with up to 800-600 pixels and for presenting on a projector. The CD includes text-to-speech software and voice recognition software. We have seen that before with the Philips Nino, but this is much more advanced, coming 4 years further on. The machine overall is way ahead of its time, coming with a 400 MHz processor, a massive 128 megs of RAM. It also included 32 meg of flash storage. So flash storage becomes normal within Pocket PC 2002, but 32 meg is very large. Most of them only have 10 meg of storage. This video is sponsored by Seb from Glasgow, who sent me this device so that I could review it. For clarity, Seb did not get a say in the contents of the video or a preview of any content. These are all my own thoughts and this is my own video. That said, Seb, you are a gent. Thank you very kindly for your generosity. So let's take a look at it. On the right hand side, we've got the record button, the jog dial, the hold button to stop it turning on in your bag if the buttons get pressed, and the infrared port. On the underside, we've got the power socket, we've got the proprietary connector, and here we've got the Wi-Fi switch, which you can use the stylus to activate, and under this rubber cover is the reset switch, which resets the device in full. On the left side, we've just got the reset hole. On the back, we've got the battery and its release catch. There's not a lot else going on there. On the top, we've got the compact flash card slot and release button, SD card slot, power button, Wi-Fi indicator light, microphone and silo for the stylus, as well as this headphone jack. So quite a lot going on there. Heading round to the front, of course we get the standard application buttons, a D-pad, we've got the speaker and we've got an indicator light for the power. I actually have the cradle for this device as well, so we've got the adapter slot. On the back we've just got the power input and a USB out, and this one though has a very nice blue glow when it's charging, as you can see. So we'll power it on. I'm not going to use its stylus because it's a telescopic one and it's horrible, so instead I'm going to use my normal stylus. So pretty standard setup sequence. Let's have a look and see what's different. So this is a 4-inch transreflective screen at VGA resolution. So with the backlight off, we can still make out the features. The contrast isn't great, but we can see it. If we pop the backlight back on, even though this is a slightly bigger screen, everything still looks sharp because it's full VGA resolution. We're going to just pop into the settings. So we've got a few additional settings in Pocket PC 2002 compared to the e115, which we reviewed previously. First of all, we've got plenty of screen light settings, so we can adjust this really bright, really dim. There are 10 different levels, so that's good. There's an auto brightness, and this is not based on ambient luminance. This is actually just based on battery life, so I'm not really sure why you'd use it. It doesn't make sense to me, but that's fine. In terms of other settings, we've gained an advanced sound setting. I think this one might be unique to Toshiba, but it allows you to alter the sound of the inbuilt speaker. There's some headphone settings, and there's a bit of tone control. We've also got a microphone setting, and this is so we can adjust how we want the microphone to record. Again, this is unique to Toshiba. This isn't standard on 2002. Heading down, we've got system information, which is new, but it just tells you a little bit about what's going on with the system and of course about the wireless. The main difference on this is that we now have wireless networks available, and that's because we've got Wi-Fi. It seems that in 2002 they thought Wi-Fi was going to be a big deal. Heading back to the initial setup, and one of the things that is new in 2002 is that we can actually change the background of the default today setting, and you can actually add pictures as well. So it's just a nice touch. So there's some new applications and updates as you might expect. Windows Media Player has been given a makeover, and it's now capable of playing video. We'll just skip ahead and we'll make it full screen. As you can see, the video playback's actually quite good. As you can hear, the speaker is not. It is the quietest speaker of any of the Pocket PCs I've yet used. So we'll move on from there. If we head into programs, we've got a new game, we've got the Classic Solitaire, and we've also got Jawbreaker. Warning though, this game is highly addictive and can damage your screen. So back in programs, we can see that we've gained some viewers. So we've got the Clear View, Document Viewer, Image Viewer, Presentation Maker, and Worksheet. So we'll have a look at those in a second. The Microsoft Reader has been slightly updated, but is essentially the same. We've got a new home button. This is unique to Toshiba. And what this does is show you kind of running applications, gives you access to your programs and quick access to information about what's going on with your Pocket PC. It's quite a nice setup, and there's a couple of things you can adjust, and you can change the background. So that's a nice touch. We've got an IP phone application. You do need to have a service provider in order to use this, but in theory you can make calls over IP, and I have seen people doing that in recent times, so it is possible, but we're going to skip past it. We've got MSN Messenger and Pocket MSN. Of course, those two services have both shut down. And Toshiba's got a new voice recorder application to complement the inbuilt one. And this is actually quite a nice build. It works very well, it's very simple, and you can link it to the record key if you wish. So one of the exciting things, of course, is the fact that we can have full VGA. It's not quite full VGA as you would expect, but we'll restart it and I'll show you what I mean. So at the moment, you can only use the inbuilt viewer applications in full VGA. Here we go. So we've got a main menu which offers us to switch back to normal resolution. We've got a list of running applications, none of course because we've only just rebooted. And then we've got programs. So these are the viewers. I did try and put other programs into the folder where these are to see if I could get them to run in full VGA, but it seems locked down, so I've been unable to get anything else to run. There are third-party applications to make that possible, but as you can see from the size of these menus, actually it becomes fairly unusable at this size. So I've put a couple of sample documents in so we can have a look at how these viewers work. So these were available third party, but Toshiba built them in as part of the bundle because it was aimed at businesses. So if we go open, and here's the sample I put in. So I've put various fonts in, a picture and a table just to show you that it does work. And as you can see, it's quite sharp in VGA. You can see an awful lot on the screen. So reading documents I think would be nice on this screen. There's a zoom option, so we can zoom in and out. We're currently there, so let's make it a little bit smaller. And there we are. So you can see a whole page on your screen all at once in glorious VGA resolution. So we'll head back out. Let's have a quick look at the worksheet. So one of the gripes about Pocket Excel is that you can't do any kind of graphs or anything like that. And that's still true in this version. In fact, it's true in every version. In the viewer, you can actually see graphs and pictures and anything else embedded in Excel. Of course, this is set up to work with the older style doc and XLS files, so it won't work with the newer file system. But as you can see, it does work and it is very good. You can't edit anything, which is a real shame because actually that would have been amazing. Here's the presenter. And again, I've put a sample one in. So we'll run it as a slideshow. Let's give it a moment to sort itself out. So as you can see, although it's got a 400 megahertz processor, when dealing with full-fat PowerPoint, it still really struggles. So the last one on here is the image viewer. So again, I've just popped a couple of images in. Super, so there we go, tiling them out. Again, in here you can put a slideshow view if you wish. And here we go. So as you can see, this screen's quite good actually for showing photos and pictures, and it works well as a slideshow viewer. You can set timing so it does it automatically. If we head out, we should now be able to see that there are some running programs. There we are. As I say, it looks like there should have been space for more icons. You should have been able to add programs, but you can't. That's just how it is. So we'll head back to normal resolution. So the only other inbuilt Toshiba application is the world clock, which is very nice. Shows you dual times, nice graphics, bit of colour. I like it. So let's set up the text-to-speech and the Microsoft Voice Command software. So let's have a look at the speech engine. So first of all, if we click this, we can see a global command list. There are actually an awful lot of commands, many duplicate things. There's lots of button commands. This seems a bit odd because you have to press a button in order to launch the voice command, so why wouldn't you press the button you wanted? But whatever. Of course we can launch programs, all sorts of different ones. They're all built in, and it will tell you what the date is, the time is. There's a help control to bring up this list. You can control the volume, and then there's a few bits of the speech command to repeat, okay, yes, no, etc. There's a user command section, so you can set up your own input. So if we take this one, for example, and hit edit, we can add some text. And then when we initiate the insert text one, it'll put that text into whatever application we're in. We've also got specific commands for each item. So calendar's got a few different ones. We can have a list mode, which is not available otherwise. And then we can read appointments and next appointments and subjects and whatever, blah, blah. And tasks the same. You can have a look at your tasks and see what's available. So let's have a go and see how it works. So I've set this up on the record button. I'm going to just set the volume to high, because it is a bad speaker on here. And let's have a go. Launch calendar. Read next appointment.
Subject. Work. Location. Summer.
So it reads it out for you. I'm not sure how useful this would be, particularly for calendars. Perhaps with the email it's more useful. So we'll stop reading and we'll come out of there. And again, launching applications, it could be handy. Launch tasks. So it could save you from finding programs by simply launching them like that. You can also use custom launch buttons, so it's got a program option. Run program 1. And it'll launch whichever item you've set as program 1. Launch text to speech. That's okay, that'll cancel that in the background. So you can't run it within Word, but you could copy items into here and it would then read it. So insert text 1. And that's what we put in earlier. Insert text 2. I think it's quite nice. It's got a bit of a Japanese lilt. If we have a look at the actual icons we've got, it installs them as separate programs. So we've got a male speech, text speech, voice command settings, and the speech settings. There's not actually many settings in this, and actually it oddly focuses around mail. Not sure why, but it does. It is a shame it won't work in a Word document, for example, because that would be nice, or perhaps even a book. So there's a couple of other things you can do. Read message.
Very important. Much wealth was received.
Very important.
Please, I want to introduce myself on this business opportunity.
So I could see this being a very useful application if you're busy and you get a lot of emails. It would be possible to set it reading your emails while you concentrate on doing something more important.
I'd like you to stand as the surviving beneficiary to my deceased client, N, who made some
Now
deposits
that's
of
interesting.
$10.5 million.
$10.5 million? Well, this seems legit. Overall, this is a great PDA. The extra 0.5 of an inch in the screen makes it much better for reading content on, and obviously you get a lot more on it. Sadly, Pocket PC 2002 was just not ready for VGA resolution. There's no ability to rotate the screen, which we see coming in 2003 second edition. And honestly, it would have been nice to use more of the apps in full VGA, but it's just not possible with the standard install. The huge amount of RAM combined with flash storage and dual memory card slots mean that realistically storage is not an issue for this device. The biggest fault is probably the speaker, which is very weak, or perhaps the telescopic stylus. Not a fan of that. For such a big device you could have put a decent sized stylus on it, but never mind. That aside, the main issue these days is going to be getting a replacement battery. While these were used a lot by business, they weren't popular with consumers, and so there aren't a lot of third-party alternatives out there, and the batteries are few and far between. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've certainly enjoyed making it. A like would be great. If you've got any comments, put them below. I love getting comments. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Once again, big shout out to Seb from Glasgow. Thank you so much for sending the e800 for me to review. Your generosity knows no bounds. My name's Hugh. This is Handheld Computing. Thanks for watching.